How's it going, everybody? As I mentioned in the initial video about this topic, there hasn't really been any new content lately, so we can take a closer look at things we'd usually just regard as not all that important. You guys gave quite a few suggestions in regards to what we should do with Reflex Guard. If you missed the video where I give an overview of how this guard type came to be and what bugs got fixed over the years, feel free to catch up before continuing with this video. So, like I said, I want to pick up a few of your ideas and give my 2 cents on them. What needs to be said here in regards to how likely it is that any of these changes suggested ever make it to the game? Developers are, at least I think they are, happy when their players submit bugs and tell them stuff that's not working properly. The better our reports, the easier it is for them to recreate it and fix it. But when it comes to mechanics that aren't just as cut and dry as a bug fix, meaning a change requires deeper and more meaningful changes to game mechanics, then they probably don't really want to hear all our armchair developer suggestions. Nobody likes being told how to do their jobs, especially not from people that have no experience and most likely not the faintest clue about any of it to begin with. So while we might enjoy discussing possible solutions and coming up with the wildest ideas, we will never have access to the full picture and how our proposed changes might affect other things negatively. But yeah, doesn't stop us from doing it anyways. I'm going to ignore all suggestions or flat out removing either of the two, so even if it was suggested plenty, I won't bring it up. So first suggestion that I really liked, and I was like, how the hell did I not come up with this myself? While you have stamina, every character has static guard, and if you're out of stamina, you have reflex guard. This gets rid of character discrepancies when it comes to guard types, and it doesn't flat out remove either of the two. We know we have upcoming stamina changes, well at least I hope we do, and I think everyone agrees with me here. Going out of stamina will not be such a common occurrence anymore, granted they tune George's bashes. And well, stamina damage on attacks in general needs another look, as I wasn't quite happy with that on the testing grounds, but I'll make a separate video about stamina damage reduction and address this in more detail. For now, we'll just assume we will get sensible stamina drains, and the out of stamina state will be on the player itself because of poor stamina management, and not like it is today because the player dared to throw out a heavy attack and got it parried. So making the out of stamina state worse in terms of defense makes sense. You are in a weakened state after all, which the Reflex Guard would represent quite nicely. Another change that kept coming up is that holding your stick in the guard direction would mean that you hold your guard there, and it won't decay nor reset to neutral after a successful block. While in theory this change makes a lot of sense, it's not really feasible to implement because of our different input methods. Mouse users aren't able to continuously hold the guard direction. They will physically run out of space to move their mouse to, or the arm will turn out to be too short at a certain point, however you want to look at it. Some of you might now be, oh here we go, the PC shall add it again. Hear me out. The reason why I brought this up was to be able to go on a little tangent here. For the most part, our input methods work the same. There are tiny differences like lock-on guard direction or GB guard direction changes, but the biggest difference is that for whatever reason, only mouse and keyboard users are allowed to fully customize all their buttons. Controllers can change some buttons, but not all actions can be bound to new ones or can't be changed at all, which means that if we're supposed to disregard a possible positive change to the guard system because of an input device that is used by a minority, then parity is something that needs to be strived for. These limitations are absolutely unneeded, and I'm sure especially console would appreciate it if they got better customization in terms of button layouts. So let us change our buttons, UB. There is no reason to limit this. Next suggestion was about introducing inferior guard. Basically what you have when you're out of stamina. All attacks are enhanced when hitting an inferior guard, even lights. That means people can continue their chains, and even lights will do chip damage. So instead of having no guard at all on that side, assassins will have this new guard type when the active block has decayed. The active guard can obviously be refreshed, same as it is right now. This would fix the issue of having to consistently refresh when attacked by multiple people. What we have to keep in mind here is that blocking is incredibly powerful already, and the reason why we consider certain characters not viable in the current meta is because they can be easily shut down simply by blocking. They cannot force you into any other action. aka viable offense, something that gets touted all the time. So the fact that we're making it easier to block things might be a little controversial. But we also need to look at it in the context of the possible upcoming changes. Attacks will get faster, and slightly buffing Reflex Guard will probably not be the reason why some characters will still be considered bottom tier. Granted, this inferior guard alone will not be enough to bring the guard types to be on par, but it's an interesting step nonetheless. And the last suggestion I want to look at is the invisible guard. No one who mentioned it went into great detail to explain what exactly will be invisible, but we'll just go through all the options. What's interesting here though is that this approach doesn't try to tackle the problem by getting rid of the negatives of Reflex Guard, but rather adds to it. Most proposed changes try to buff the defensive capabilities, while this would, at least in theory, enhance the offensive side of that guard type. So what are the possibilities then? To a degree, Reflex Guard is also invisible. Once the guard is decayed, you can no longer tell which stance the person is in. We have that already, so we need to go further. We can completely remove the guard widget for one. Only by animation can you tell which guard stance the opponent is moving into. No more additional white guard indicators on the character model. Or we take it one step further and also remove the guard swap animations. The character will only be in the idle stance. And to be honest, this sounds horrible from a strict visual perspective. Imagine someone's character not moving at all. The illusion of someone staring at you would be even worse. So even if this was a minor buff to the guard type, I think the overall perception of this change would be a negative one. For someone who didn't know that it was changed, it would simply look lazy, as if the devs forgot to implement something. But yeah, those are probably the more realistic suggestions from the comment section. And even if I didn't include yours here, thank you for participating, sharing your ideas. Like I said at the beginning, whether we'll see any of these or whether we'll see changes at all, we'll have to wait and see. Many more pressing concerns and changes that people want to see implemented, but it was a fun thought experiment nonetheless. I hope the video was interesting. Thanks for watching. Laters everybody.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Up.
Do it. Oh. No, does he have tier 2 already? No, he doesn't.
Did I get him out?
Yeah, you did get him up for a second.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I would have killed him if it hadn't been. I'd like somehow the wall punish missed and he somehow blocked my top heavy after fucking skull.
Why is everyone getting revenge today?
That's normal.
Fuck off.
No, I almost killed the JJ. I'm gonna go for another go on him.
Oh.
Ah, shit.
You captured Zone C.
En dan gaan we met. Dan met.
He's just not gonna pop it, okay.
Nah.
That's fucking fine with me. Oh, how did that catch me? What the fuck?
Oh, he's out of stamina, I'm out of stamina.
That's bullshit.
You lost Zone A.
And I'm dead.
I'm healing behind our minions.
Oh
Sweet.
my! Ah!
You alright?
Oh, that is so
Oh,
stupid.
I'm gonna bash the new heavy, alright?
Sounds good, boss man.
Oh, boss man,
Oh,
he's got
boss
revenge
man.
tags. This ain't good.
Why come fight, Max? I wonder.
Grr.